So someone in my comments wanted me to take a look at some Brazilian Valorant, and I thought, well, okay, I will take a look at some Brazilian Valorant. And so we're here on Bind, and after just the pistol round alone, I was like, okay, I'm in. Because it was a crazy pistol round, and so I was like, okay, I'll watch the rest of the game, why not? And we've got, the team names are actually wrong, they're actually swapped over. This is Loud, this is Gamelanders. And, well, we're going to see pretty standard comps from both sides. Both sides running the Astra Viper plus Sova. So, pretty meta picks. And then for Loud, we have a Raze plus a Sky. And for Gamelanders, we have the KO plus the Jet. Pretty normal, nothing out of the ordinary here. I am a big lover of KO, so, I always like seeing a KO on every map. And I think we are seeing more and more KO on every map. But Sky, this is probably Sky's best map, I want to say. Oh, definitely one of her best. But let's just take a look at this pistol round because Brazilian Valorant still offers some crazy things going on. So let's take a look at it. And what we're going to see is some aggression here down B long. And we're going to see here this flash. And I'm just going to play it through and then we'll talk about look at it from a map standpoint. We got a Sova Dart, recalled Astra Star. And here we go. You can see already fireworks are going off. And what's going to happen is Loud are just going to absolutely clean up. They end up in a 5v1, almost straight away. And of course, they are going to manage to convert the 5v1 shock horror on a pistol. So let's take a quick look at exactly what happened there. And initially, I was a bit confused. But if we go to the map. So as we saw, we're going to get the Sky Flash here. You get the Astra Star recall. You get the Sova Dart over here as well. And then they're going to push with 3 people down there. And see what they can get. And obviously, if we just run it back a bit and come back here a couple seconds, this Viper smoke, I initially thought this was the defender's smoke. That they had sent in from some kind of lineup from over here that they'd sent in and it managed to land there perfectly. And I was like, whoa, that's absolutely crazy. Turns out that isn't the case. This is actually the attacking Viper smoke, which I was a bit confused by. Obviously, I think the reason is they probably have seen Loud or it's something that Loud commonly do, that they dart for this area and they get aggressive in this area. So I think they tried to counter that by putting up this orb here so that the recon dart doesn't see any of them, and then potentially catch Loud off guard by the fact that they think that no one's here, but really there's actually a bunch of people sitting inside the smoke. The only problem with that is all these players from Gamelanders are going to focus on where the normal choke point is. If I come to the map, I'll explain what I mean. They're going to be focusing on this area where there are 2 players. The problem is, of course, if we come back to the normal mode, that this Raze has, as we see, sneaked up here. And so that means that as they're all focusing down here, this Raze basically gets off 3 shots, as we see from the clip. So it was a bit risky and they actually pushed through it. I think just dropping it there would have been slightly better for them as well, because then when you drop it, you're all in it together rather than one person running through. But either way, obviously Loud take the round, and I was like, whoa, okay, this pistol was pretty crazy. Let's see what else is in store. And so now let's come to round number 6. You can see it's 4-1 to Loud, but we are going to get a really good take from Gamelanders here. And, when I first, started watching the international tournaments, the first international tournament at Iceland last year, I remember people talking about the Brazilian teams in terms of, they're all cracked mechanically, they all have really good aim and whatnot. But potentially, some things like the team utility usage, doing that as a team maybe isn't perfectly timed or isn't perfectly done. But this round, I think, goes to show that, from that moment, here we are 10 or whatever it was months later, that we're starting to see that, these other regions are really getting good at it now. And this is why I think Crew's run, for instance, in the World Championships wasn't necessarily a surprise, because these other regions are just catching up. And the gap is quite small, I think, overall. So let's take a look at this round, because it is just an absolute bombardment of utility. So let's play it through first, and then we'll go through it very, very slowly. I mean, I don't even think we can go to the map, because everything happens so fast that it's just crazy. So let's go in. So we get the KO ult, of course, but you can see there's Sova Darts from both teams there. The Sova Dart pings one there. We get an Astra Suck down here. We get a Viper Molly down there. Jet Smoke. It's all absolutely going off, right? Everything goes crazy. And Gamelanders are going to end up winning this round. They get the res on the KO. It's just another reason the KO is good. But at the same time, they managed to nade that almost just a tad bit late. That the KO is able to live, and eventually Loud are just gonna save here, as you can see. But as we go back, going onto the map here won't even help. We also got the Astral Wall. Like, this is the thing. Like, there was so much to talk about. It was all so executed at, like, such a fast pace. Well, let's come back here and we'll try and just pause at the right moments to point out exactly what's going on. So, obviously, we get the KO knife. The KO knife there is just trying to, make sure that no one is close in Hooker. I'm guessing it didn't see anyone, and they feel like, okay, let's ult, let's go. So obviously this Viper gets suppressed, the wall and stuff will come down a little bit later, but as you can see, we got the Recon Dart already. I think just before the KO, pulse came out, Sova was able to get this dart off. Really well done. And, we're getting, like, Astra Stars up here on top of the tube and whatnot. We're getting sucks in there. You got a Viper Molly down here that eventually is going to manage to, force this person to swing out and die. But as you can see, the KO gets pinged as he's coming out, so he gets died to that Sova Dart, but then we also have the Sova Dart from the attacking team that you can see scanning at the same time. You're getting stuns up here. You can see it's just absolutely going crazy. We have the Astral Wall, as I mentioned, didn't really mention, but that Viper Molly gets that kill. We get the Astral Suck from the defensive side there at the bottom. Like, everything just going absolutely insane. Just this full utility dump from both teams. And I kind of just loved it, because as I said, I remember being in that initial Reykjavik tournament and people feeling like, Brazilian teams couldn't do that. But I think that this is proof that, these teams from the other regions have come a long way and do know how to do it, because that was, like, I would say well done by both teams. Obviously, Gamelanders ended up winning the round, but even Loud's utility I thought was pretty good overall. They just, happened to lose to a very good execute. But then this game continued to provide just some absolutely insane clips. And you've heard of Korean Jet. Well, what about Brazilian Jet? Because let's take a look at this round. So we're going to get this KO lineup. Here you go. There's a KO lineup if you want. We're going to follow this knife that's going to, suppress all of Garden here and anyone around. Pretty sure that got the Sky there. Then we have this Sova drone that is going to ping the Viper, and then that happens. And that was pretty insane, wasn't it? And then that happens as well. And I'm pretty sure there what happened was the KO flashed, and it was just a tiny bit late. Again, like, execution was pretty good. And as you can see, they're already getting on to site as well. Just insane, right? And again, the same execute with the Viper Mollies there. You're sending shock darts in here. You've got the Recon Dart. It's really well done. The timing of that Sova drone coming in, it got to about here in Hooker and managed to, like, tag the person running out. The tag into, like, where the jet was and perfectly timed. Again, just amazing bit of utilities. And let's just watch it again, because why not? Because that kill is absolutely insane. But you see that the Sova drone starts there, but still manages to get this Viper, like, just in time. And as the jet is, like, perfectly running up, there it was. I mean, look at that shot. Look at that. And then even this, right? Like, the the one-up draft into, like, seeing where they are, and then the dash up draft into the kill, like, just absolutely nuts. And then Sassy as well, though, is gonna go insane. Like, he's kind of the man in Brazilian Valorant, right? And he's gonna, do some things in this round that, again, and he did some things in this game that it's, like, just absolutely insane, just to prove again that, they do have that correct aim as well. So even though they're in a 5v3, and I don't know how you say this name. Dugzin? Dogzin? I don't really know what it's meant to be. But yeah. And here goes Sassy. I mean, look at that shot. Just absolutely insane. And the first shot that he got on the jet was pretty cool. And he's going to get this one too. So, this is pretty good. The only thing that stops him here is the time. And so Gamelanders are going to win the round. But yeah, and there you go. Good utility usage. You can see that, again, they know what they're doing, and eventually they win due to time. But now let's come to the other side and round 19 and Loud's attack instead. And what we're gonna see here is the insane Viper setup. It wouldn't be one of my videos on Bind without talking about this Viper setup, because it's just absolutely crazy insane. And it completely can turn rounds on its own. And the reason is because, you feel like you can't really defend this area. That especially when they're against a save here, and, they might think, well, maybe they've got, like, a judge or something that, they want to get in here and then just judge us to death. We often see that on saves from certain teams. And so they might have that in the back of their mind. So they feel like, oh, well, we'll just leave it then, I guess, if they're going to do the setup. But then the problem is you leave it, and guess what happens? Well, as you can see, the Viper is already sneaking up. As the rest of the team is here in showers and creating, a ruckus in showers, Viper's just going to use that time to just sneak up and take the space. So let's take a look at what happens, because it's going to be delayed as well. It's really well timed by Les here on the Viper, as you can see, just sneak up there. but then they wait. You know, they don't feel impatient. They wait, and the rest of their team is coming back towards short. And so the idea, of course, is that when, and this is what's about to happen, is, of course, the rest of the other team are going to start worrying about this, but he's obviously way further ahead than what they expect, and it ends up with a free kill. Sorry that we missed it there. Let's go back. So as you see, yeah, here we go. You've got the loud players here kind of, you know, in this area, so that's where they're expecting them to be, but then you get a free kill, right? And you get out for free. And then the thing is with this Viper setup, the question is always, okay, how are we going to get from here onto site, right? We have flashes and things like that, but the Viper just got the ult from that kill, so they just decided, let's just ult this instead, and we'll get onto site and get the spike down that way, and it goes pretty well for them. They end up winning the round on a save, because obviously the Viper ult is kind of nuts, but here it comes. As you can see by the map here, we got the Viper ult up there, and yeah, they're going to end up winning this round, and it just goes to show that that insane Viper setup, right, is just good at all levels, to be honest, because you can just sneak up there for free. And I did tell you that Brazilian Valorant was a bit crazy. Well, here we go with the last round in the game. It's 12-9 to Loud. And yeah, we're going to get an absolutely crazy round, as pretty much everyone is going to end up in this space for the most part. And so let's see how it goes. So what we're going to get is like this Viper wall for shower here. We're going to get some aggression here from the Viper towards the shower. You can see we've got 2 players there for Loud as well. And what's going to happen is we're also going to get these 2 here coming in the teleporter behind, and that's a pretty crazy thing that happens. But look at this, it's almost as if Loud expect, look, they have an Astra Star there. Like, it's almost like they expect this, oh, this is something that could happen. I don't know if this is something that Gamelanders, you know, do often, but it's pretty insane that they have an Astra Star just waiting there for it as if it could happen. That's pretty big brain, if you ask me. So let's take a look at what happens, because it's a pretty crazy round all in all. And yeah, so we get a ton of utility here as well. So we got the dog from the sky coming into shower, as you can see. I really love the way he like delays with it, the shooting of it. I thought it was just really cool. Then we get the TP, but we get the Astra Suck. Then we get the dart. Then we, but look at how well prepared they are for it. It's just insane. And as we run this through, you know, we get more utility usage and just absolutely crazy things, and more Astra stuns and sucks and all of that. And eventually we end up in this 3v1 for Loud. But I thought it was really cool by Gamelanders and what they tried. Like, it was a really nice idea. And if we just go from this point here, and again, like, just pause it through, we're going to see that obviously we have this Astra Star here from the defenders to, you know, try and keep them outside of shower. But, you know, they do manage to push past that, but we get the Astra Suck there. Now, the Suck is just slightly misplaced so that this guy is able to get out, and at the same time, you know, that's when the TPs come in, that we get this Astra Suck. And then we're also going to get that dart, as you can see. The KO just misses that. We get even the jet smoke here, as you can see, to stop anyone from here being able to see this fight. Like, it was really well coordinated. It just didn't quite go their way, I guess. Like, it was just slightly misplaced. Like, if that suck does fully suck them, you know, that's probably a free kill. And obviously they lose this fight. That was probably the key fight as well, Aspas getting that kill. But they do manage that, but eventually gets traded out. And at this point, it's just a bit too late, and ends in 3v1, and Loud end up winning the round. But again, just seeing like some of the crazy things that were going on. We actually saw Liquid try a sort of similar thing, and I do think it's a really fun tactic overall. You know, there was 2 players there, and there was 2 players close. It's one of them where, you know, if potentially a team only has maybe 2 players within the vicinity, you know, you end up winning those fights, and you end up in an advantage situation. But unfortunately for them, it didn't go their way, and Loud won the game. And Brazilian Valorant definitely, to me, seemed pretty good. You know, the aim was good. The play, the general tactic play was pretty good. We saw some good executes from both sides as well. So yeah, I was pretty impressed by this overall.